Easy Explained Buddhist Philosophy, Samudaya. So this is largely coming from chapter 3 of What the Buddha Taught by Walpola Rahula, and this chapter covers the second noble truth, which is Samudaya. So, quick review. Last chapter, the first noble truth, that was about dukka, which is essentially the fact that suffering exists, just really tied in with our being and our experience of being. So now we're going to move into Samudaya, which is trying to come up with a reason or an explanation for how and why there's dukkha, right? Where is it coming from? Why is dukkha essentially tied to being and experiencing and existing? So the explanation here for this term, what does samudaya mean? This is about the arising and origin of dukkha, right? Like, this is where it comes from. Where does it come from? It comes from thirst, right? Samudaya is largely translated as thirst, but not just like you're thirsty for a glass of water. It's thirst for things, almost like a drive, right? A wanting or a longing, right? Of certain specific sense pleasures, right? Things that just would make you think would just make you feel better, for existing, for becoming, right? For just, striving to these alternate endpoints or states of being, and also for non-existence, right? This kind of gets into Nietzschean philosophy a little bit, right? Of we have this will towards nothingness, the will to power to an extreme, right? And that's problematic as well, right? It's also problematic to flip this thirst for like, okay, I shouldn't be thirsty for existing or becoming more. Okay, I'll just be thirsty for not existing, and that's equally problematic here, right? That's just going to give rise to dukkha as well. So let's move on to four nutriments, right? The four good things, really the only things you need here, right? The things that are going to nourish you and keep you alive in a state of being and experience. So just ordinary food, right? Just nothing crazy. Foods that are not satisfying these, exorbitant or luxurious sense pleasures. Just basic contact of our sense organs with the external world and being aware of them and grateful for them and appreciative of them, right? That's just being awake, alive, and experiencing and sensing and perceiving. That's all you need. Consciousness, right? The awareness of that. And your mental volition, your will, right? Just knowing that you're being and you can do things. That's pretty great. So samudaya, right? This is really understood as the root cause of suffering, right? This thirst is what is causing dukkha. And there's also this theme of continuity, right? Of just keeping going, right? That becoming, that striving. But there's also a deeper level here, right? So we could look at this as this thirst, this drive, this excessive willing. This is the very nature of arising and ceasing, right? You look at the becoming into existence and then the non-existence. Two really big themes here. And this gets into the idea, the concept of karma here as well, which is also in Hindu philosophy. It's also in Hinduism. And as we've seen already, Buddhist philosophy is taking a stand on a lot of traditionally accepted Hindu beliefs. So here we're just going to define your karma. What is karma? This is your actions, right? The actions that you are taking your will to enforce, to impose, right? You're using your mental volition to accomplish them. You're thinking, you're deciding, you're acting. That is your karma, right? Rolling with you. So we're also going to look at this idea of death, especially in relation to this idea of cessation. And here we're just going to define death as the total non-functioning of the physical body, right? That's it. In terms of a deeper, more spiritual or metaphysical meaning, there isn't going to be one inside of Buddhist philosophy. That is one of those really big metaphysical questions we shouldn't even try to answer, we shouldn't worry about. You dying just means your body has stopped functioning. Don't overthink it. That's the term here. But then, and especially relating it back to this concept of arising, this thirst for arising, we get to this concept of rebirth, which is also, again, present in Hindu philosophy. So this idea comes from this karmic force, right, of all your actions following you, coming with you. They're going to continue manifesting themselves, but just in different forms, right? So your body, if you've died, has stopped functioning, but your karmic body, your karmic force, is going to keep on rolling, right? You have this manifested force behind your volitional actions, behind your thoughts and your actions. And in some way, shape, or form, this is going to produce some kind of re-existence, right? In some realm, some shape and form. And this is what we want to try to get out from, right? We want to try to get out from this thirst, to spur this. We want to end our suffering, right? This is suffering, right? If you're going to keep re-existing in some form as a karmic force body, not the ideal for Buddhist philosophy. We actually want to put an end to that. So we have Samudaya as the thirst, giving rise to dukka as suffering. We're explaining it here in terms of, birth, life, death, rebirth, and karma. So as we keep going with the Four Noble Truths, we're going to see how we get out from this, right? We've kind of set the stage here of it's a problem, right? That there's suffering and that there's a force giving rise to suffering. What are we to do about it? How do we get out from this? Those are the following Noble Truths. We'll get to those next. But for now, I hope this helps.